Hello, Amy Porterfield. Welcome to the She Means Profit podcast. I am beyond excited to have you here with us today.
Oh my goodness, I've been looking forward to this. Thanks so much for having me.
You have got some amazing news coming up, and I'm excited because I think I'm one of the first people to share this news, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm going to let you announce it. So take it away.
Well, I officially have a book out in the world. Well, kind of. We're in pre sale phase right now, but I wrote a book and you can absolutely buy it now. And it's called 2 Weeks Notice. And it's all about finding the courage to quit your job or quit whatever is no longer serving you and move into creating a business by your own design. And so it's everything that I've learned along the way in creating my own business and all the mistakes and all the successes wrapped up in one. So I'm really excited about it.
Starting a business, especially online, it is so overwhelming.
Oh,
Like when I started my business, being a CPA and having a very strong business acumen, I thought when I started, about 3 years ago, well, it's actually about 2.5 when it was officially gone. Um, I thought I'm going to be fine. Like I already know so much, right?
yeah.
And I knew nothing.
Same. Absolutely the same. It's scary, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally different. And I love that you talk about that as well, right? You're one of the first and probably one of the only entrepreneurs I can think of. My eyes are rolling back in my head because I'm trying to think of anybody else who talks about this, is that you're honest about it, about starting a business is hard. You should be struggling at
Yes.
the beginning, right?
Yes, that's that period. I say usually the first 2 years are the toughest, where things are not falling into place. You do not know what you're doing. And I always tell my students, the way your business looks like on day one of whatever you create, a side hustle, or you just go out on your own and you start doing it, however that looks, it's going to look dramatically different in just a few short years. So don't think every decision you make is set in stone. Every decision means the world. It feels like it means everything. Like, am I going to partner with that person? And am I going to create that product or whatever it might be? It's not as big as you think it is. The most important thing is that you are taking action, that you are actually doing something. And what I've seen is a lot of people kind of stand on the sidelines like, I'm not going to jump in just yet. I'm not ready. I have to have my website set up, or I have to know exactly what I'm going to do, or a business plan. And I say BS to all of that. You just got to get going and you've got to try something because it leads to something else.
It's so true and such good advice because as you're speaking, I'm thinking back to my experience. And I mean, when I started my podcast, I'm in my third year now. I'm on my third name.
Exactly. It
Yeah,
changes, and you've
it
got to allow
changes.
yourself to change and grow and change your mind.
Exactly.
I
As
think we don't,
you find your rhythm, you
yes,
get going, you figure out what your community likes and
yes,
exactly.
exactly. It makes such a difference. And I think as entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, we forget to give ourselves grace that, look, no one taught us this in school. We are learning as we go, and we're absolutely going to make mistakes. I mean, just this year, I essentially made about $100,000 mistake in something that I did this year. And I think I could course correct and fix it, but I'm almost 14 years in. That's part of being an entrepreneur. And as
So
long as I
true.
know that it's okay to make mistakes and I'm still making them this many years in, I wish I knew that my first 2 years. I beat myself up at every turn that didn't work out. And I wish I could take that back. And I hope what the stories I share in the book will allow people to be a little bit more patient with themselves.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you're still admitting that you're making mistakes, right?
When
Because
I
I
said it,
talk
I was like, should I even admit this? But
Oh,
yes,
yes,
you
you
should.
should, because
Yes.
it's so true, right? I
Yes.
speak with my clients about that all the time. Business is constantly evolving, constantly changing, whether you're at year 2, year 14, year 25, and you're still going to make mistakes. But if you're not aware of the financial or other mistakes that you're making, and I throw finance in there because that is really what this podcast is about, then you can't correct them,
Right.
right?
Yes, exactly. So you have to be very aware. Okay, these are the mistakes I've made. This is what I don't understand. This is where I'm struggling, and really talk about it. I think one of the best things I've ever done as a female entrepreneur is I have always found other female entrepreneurs to connect with and I've made an effort to be friends with them, and to the point of we're texting every day. I have a good friend, Jasmine Starr, and I actually do this with my friend Jenna Kutcher as well. So I do it with two women where I bet every single day we send a voice text. It's not like we plan it. It's just like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with today, or here's what I want. I literally called Jenna today and I said, I need someone to help me with the signature talk before my book comes out. Who do you know? What have you done in the past? You have to have those people that you can go to, because entrepreneurship feels very lonely without it. So
Exactly.
finding your friends in the mix is so important.
I completely agree with that. And I'm so grateful for my entrepreneur friends as well,
That,
because, and not only for that support of like, hey, do you have experience with this, that, or the other? Give me names, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have days where I'm just like, I give up.
amen. Same. Yes. And
Yeah, because
it's
it's
hard.
yeah, it is hard. And I'm so grateful that you're willing to talk about that, because so few, there's this big facade out there, I find personally in the online world, like make 7K or 7 figures overnight, or, do this, do that. What do you mean you're not doing this? Everybody's doing this. Why aren't you doing that? And it just leaves you feeling like, am I the only one who's not succeeding? Or,
Right.
and I
Yeah,
say succeeding loosely.
yeah. You look around and you think everybody is doing it better than me. They're doing it
Yeah.
faster than me. They're making tons and tons of money, which now that I've been in it long enough, I realize no, not everybody is making tons of money over you. They're just, of course, social is their highlight reel.
Yeah.
And so we have to be so very careful about comparing ourselves. A lesson I've learned now that I've gotten older, I wish I learned it a long time ago, is anytime I see myself look around, and I still do this, I'll look around what my peers are doing, people I know or don't know, and they're just crushing it with their book launches, their course launches, all of that stuff. They're getting asked to speak on huge stages. And in that moment, I could feel a little tinge of guilt, not guilt, jealousy. So I feel like, I want that. Or how do they do that? Why don't I have that? And someone taught me recently that if I ever feel jealous or envy, turn it around and ask yourself, what do they have that you want? And then the next question is, how are you going to go get it? And as soon as I started doing that, like, why am I feeling this tinge of jealousy? Oh, I want to be asked to speak on that stage. And then I start asking myself, who do I know? What calls can I make? How can I make it happen? And that has helped me get into action instead of poor me, I'm not popular enough, I'm not big enough, and all that stuff.
I love that. I love that. And it's so true, regardless of what stage you're at in your business. Comparing yourself to somebody higher is always going to make you feel like you're behind.
Exactly.
And I've interviewed a lot of like celebrity type people like you, and regular business people like me. And the common thread that we all have is that we're all human, and we fear, and we put ourselves under immense pressure, and we compare, and we just feel like we're just not adding up. And it's just that common thread is what I'm trying to say.
It definitely puts us all on the same playing field at the end of the day.
Exactly.
The fear, the doubt, the anxiety, the second guessing. I don't care how many years you've been in this, it's still there.
Yeah.
And I know you and I are talking about how it's hard and it's overwhelming and all of that. But here's what I will say, that the best day in my 9-to-5 job is still not even close to the worst day as an entrepreneur. And I know that sounds bizarre, but the worst day as an entrepreneur, and I can name a few. I used to be in a partnership that went south, and it was like the scariest thing I've ever been through. I've lost money. I've embarrassed myself, all the stuff. The worst day of being an entrepreneur is still better than the best day at my 9-to-5 job, because I'm free, because I call the shots, because I get to say, I need to step back for a while. I need to take a mini vacation, or I need to call a friend and get help with this. It's not the same in a 9-to-5 job. So that freedom is still absolutely worth the overwhelm.
Yes. And I love that you highlighted that, because yes, as hard as it is, I completely agree with you. It is so worth it.
Oh, so worth it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yes.
So you mentioned that your book is available for pre-order. So we will leave that link in the show notes as well. So make sure that you guys get out there, order the book. It's really good. Even if you're a seasoned business owner, or you're new to online business, you're still going to have some great takeaways. So I highly encourage everybody to grab a copy.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been such a fun talk.
Oh, I loved it. I loved everything about it. So I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.